Hello, children. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to another day of learning experience. I am your teacher in English, Teacher Glenda. For today, we're going to learn on how to write a short story, fiction and non-fiction with its complete elements. This is quarter 4, week 1. And now for our objective, you are expected to write a short story, fiction or non-fiction, with its complete elements. But before that, children, do you want to write a short story or do you love reading a story? Reading a story teaches us many things. We can travel to many places when we have to stay where we are. It is also where we can get information and update those we already know. Reading allows us to access stories from around the world. Stories can help us explore our imagination, and lastly, it also develops our love for writing short stories. A story may be fiction or non-fiction. But what is a fiction? Fiction is a make-believe or an imaginary story, while fiction is a story that really happened in real-life situations. Look at this picture, children. If this is like a magical kingdom in the story, who is the possible character? A unicorn? A fairy? A rabbit? A genie? Or a dragon? Well, if you want to write a short story, it's up to you to choose your characters, your setting, and the plot. Now, how do we know that the story is a fiction or non-fiction? According to literature, there are two kinds of categories of writing story. One is fiction, which is created from imagination. The main purpose is to entertain the reader. On the other hand, the non-fiction is based on fact. Its main purpose is to inform the reader. On this lesson, we will focus on how to write a story. For step 1, you have to think of an idea. What will story be about? You can use a concept map, a mind map to brainstorm the idea. To generate a good idea, you have to determine the mood that you want your readers to feel. It may be happy, sad, and scared. You can think of an event to support your happy feelings. You can get inspiration for real life experiences like first day of school, trip to the beach, and adventure in the park. Experience and imagination help in creating a good plot. The first one is character. Every story has its own character. The main character determines the way the plot will develop and is usually the one who will solve the problem in the story. How to create your character and setting. Every story has a character. A character can be a child, an animal, or a robot. The main character determines the way plot will develop and usually the one who will solve the problem in the story. However, letter B is a setting. Where do you want your story to take place? Is it in the school, in the city, in other country, or in the planet? For the time setting, the story can be happen in the past, present, or step 3. How are you going to write the beginning of the plot? Then write the problem faced by the main character. You can also introduce other characters here to shake things up in step 4. Write the middle of the plot. In this part, you are going to present the actions made by the characters to solve the problem. Step 5. Write the ending of the story. The ending must show how the characters solved the problem. State what happened to the characters after the problem has been resolved, what they were able to achieve, and the important lesson they learned. For example, if the main character easily gets scared in the beginning, he learns to be brave at the end. If the character starts off as a lay student, he could change into an active and hard-working student at the end of the story. To sum it up, how are you going to write a short story? First, you have to think of an idea. Second, create your own character and setting. Next, write the beginning of the plot. Next, write the middle of the plot. And number 5, write the ending of the story. Now, at this point, children, we will read a short story entitled The Lion and the Mouse. The lion was awakened from sleep by a mouse running across his face. With a terrible roar, the lion seized the mouse with his paw and tried to kill it. "Oh, please," the mouse begged. "Spare my life. I will repay you for kindness." The lion was amused at the thought of mouse being able to help him that he let the frightened creature go. Shortly afterwards, the lion fell into a trap set by some hunters and was helplessly caught in a net of strong ropes. In his misery, the lion roared so loudly that all the beasts in the forest heard him. The mouse was recognized the roar of his former captor and ran to the place where the lion lay trapped. At once, the mouse began to gnaw the ropes with his teeth. He gnawed rope after rope until last the lion was free. Now, do you understand the story, children? Let us identify the characters, the setting, and the plot of the story. Who are the characters of the story? Correct. The characters are the mouse and the lion. What is the setting of the story? Good job, children. It is in the forest. What is the plot of the story? But what is the beginning of the plot of the story? For the beginning, the lion was awakened from sleep by a mouse running across his face. With a terrible roar, the lion seized the mouse with his paw and tried to kill it. Now, can you guess what is the middle plot of the story? Correct. The lion fell into a trap set by some hunters and was helplessly caught in a net of a strong rope. And now, children, what do you think is the last or the ending of the plot of the story? Yes, you are correct. The ending was the mouse recognized the roar of his former captor and ran to the place where the lion lay trapped. At once, the mouse began to gnaw the ropes with his teeth. He gnawed rope after rope until the last, the lion was free. Can you get it, children? Very good. Now, what is the title of the short story? Yes, you're right. The title of it is The Lion and the Mouse. Now, what do you call this kind of the story? Is it a fiction or a non-fictional? Yes, you're right. It is called fiction or fictional story. And the last, what do you call the story whose characters are animals? Any guess, children? Yes, you're right. It is called a fable. Now, children, you know the different elements of the story. At this point, let us have a practice. Activity 1. I have here a short story. You are going to read the story, then complete its element. The Hart and the Hunter. The hart was once drinking from a pool. He admired the noble figure he made there. "Aha!" said he. "Where can we see such noble horns as this, with such antlers? I wish I had legs were there to bear such a noble crown. It is a pity they are so slim and slight." At that moment, a hunter approached and sent an arrow whistling after him. Away bounded the hart, and soon, by the aid of his nimble legs, was nearly out of sight of the hunter. But not noticing where he was going, he passed under some trees with branches growing low down in which his antlers were caught, so that the hunter had time to come up. "Alas, alas!" cried the hart. "We often despise what is most useful to us." Now, children, what is the title of the story? A. The Hart, B. The Hunter, C. The Hart and the Hunter. Yes, children, let's find it out. Is it the hart, the hunter, the hart and the hunter. What do you think is the answer? The answer is letter C. Who are the characters of the story? A. The hart. B. The hunter. C. The hart and the hunter. What is the answer? Okay, it's letter C. You're right, children. The answer is the hart and the hunter. Now let's. What is the setting of the story? A. In the pool. B. In the forest. C. In the bridge. What do you think is the answer, children? Yes, you're right. It's letter B, in the forest. What is the plot of the story? Is it A, a hunter approached and sent an arrow whistling after the hart? B, the hart was once drinking in the pool. C, the hart was able to escape the hunter. What do you think is the answer, children? Is it A, B, or C? Yes, good job, children. The answer is letter C. The hart was able to escape the hunter. And now let's have another activity. By this time, you are going to sort the images in sequence to tell the story. Are you now ready, children? Once upon a time, what do you think is the first in the story? Yes, the first in the story. Activity 2. For this one, you are going to sort the images in sequence to tell the story. Are you ready, children? What do you think is the first one? Yes, of course. The first one is the title of the story, The Three Little Pigs. For the next one, children. Yes, you're right. Who lived in the houses they built in a village? What do you think, children, is the third one? Yes, very good. One day, the wolf came and blew for his house to knock down. And for the fourth one, children, what do you think it is? Yes, again, children, you are correct. He kept trying to ours, but the house was very strong and the little pigs were safe inside. And the last one, children? Yes, but the third little pig boiled a big pot of water and kept it below the chimney. The wall fell in and the got burnt badly. Now, children, let's read the story. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived in the houses they built in a village. One day, the wolf came and blew their house to knock down. But then, he kept trying for hours, but the house was very strong and the three little pigs were safe inside. But then, the third little pig boiled a big pot of water and kept it below the chimney. Then the wolf fell into it and got burnt badly. Now, do you like the story, children? Yes. And now, children, you have to remember the different elements of the story are the setting. The setting refers to the time and location where the story takes place. For the characters, the people or animals who are important to the story. And for the plot, it is the important events or actions that occur during the story. A plot can be found at the beginning, wherein this gives the problem faced by the main character. For the middle, it presents the actions made by the characters to solve the problem. And for the ending, it gives the solution to the problem. Now, children, you have to remember those different elements of the story in order for you to write a good short story. And now, for your enrichment activity, you have to read the story Cinderella, the Beautiful Girl, then write the title of the character, the setting, and the plot of the story. You can also check the link and click it for your references. That's all, children. Goodbye. And now, children, for your better understanding or for further information, you can check your answers here for Activity 1 and Activity 2. For the evaluation, you are going to submit your work to your teacher. Is that clear, children?